So whatever transaction occurred, immediately the transaction has to be updated. Within a few seconds, the transaction has to be updated. If system 1 wants some data which is present in system 3, then there is a direct connection. Directly they will take this data from S3 to S1. Then Windows NT, Windows Server, Linux are the example for this network operating system. Command user interface allows the user to interact with the computer through the text terminals. Welcome back to One and All. Myself, Vasanta, lecturer in Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysore. Today, I'm going to start with the fourth session of software concept. Whereas in the previous session, you come to know regarding the functional operations of an operating system, that is the functions of operating system, then which are the different types of operating system, Under that, you have studied regarding single user operating system. Single user operating system is only one user can work at a time. Then batch operating system. Here, related jobs, related work will make a batches and then it will go for processing. Then multi-programming operating system. Multi-programming means more than one program can work at the same time. Like these are the few types of operating system. In the previous class, you came to know. Whereas on today's class, you will come to know regarding time-sharing operating system. How time will be shared here by multiple jobs. Then real-time operating system. Immediately all the transaction will be updated. Distributed operating system. It means that each computer having equal capability. How here the working will take place. Then network operating system. Then multi-threaded operating system. With that, functional features of operating system. Then difference between graphical user as well as command user interface. Now first one by one we'll discuss. First we'll start with time sharing operating system. What do you mean by this time sharing operating system? Whatever time we have, by the same time, within that time only, all the jobs will distribute and it will work on that. Whereas time sharing operating system allows many users, more than one users, to share the computer resources simultaneously. Whatever resource, where it may be any data or a memory or a type, that can be used by multiple users at the same time. Time sharing refers to the allocation of computer resources. Whatever resources we have that can be allocated in times slots to several programs simultaneously. Whatever job we have, for example, job 1, job 2, job 3, all the jobs they have, they want to process on CPU. Then this time sharing operating system helps to share the time by all the jobs here. Large CAD and text processing system belongs to time sharing operating system. Only thing the name itself suggesting time sharing. It means that time can be shared by multiple jobs, multiple users. Most of the time sharing operating system adopted time slicing round robin scheduling algorithms. What do you mean by round robin technology or algorithm? Here, consider one example. Consider your friend having one laptop. On that laptop, you have particular game. Consider all the 5 of the friends want to play on that particular system. Then what they will do? First 5 minutes, the first one will play. Then second one, another 5 minutes. Third one, another 5 minutes. If the first one wants to play another 10 minutes, then he has to wait until the completion of the first round. That is round robin scheduling algorithm. That means whatever time they have, within that they will divide the time by several slides and then they will process here. Then each user processor will receive a portion of the time slots here. They will take only little bit of time, they will process, then they have to come out from the loop. Once again, if they want to process, then he has to wait until the completion of the first line. Then Unix Windows Server is the example for multi-programming time, multi-user time sharing systems. Windows, Unix, All are example for multi-programming, multi-user as well as time-sharing operating system. When we come on time-sharing operating system, consider we have user 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that all the users they have want to process on the CPU. At the same time, they will interact here, and for the first user, first they will allocate for 5 minutes, then for another 5 minutes for the second user, third user, fourth user, fifth user, sixth user. After that, once again the first user wants to process, he has to wait the completion of the first round. That is time sharing operating system. Next, when we come on real-time operating system. What do you mean by real-time operating system? In this, whatever transaction occurred, immediately the transaction has to be updated. For example, consider I want to book a flight ticket. For example, 3 tickets I want to book. Then I will send the command how many tickets are available to the server side. Then from that side, I am getting one more command, 5 seats are available. Then once again from my side, I am going to give one more command, I want to book 3 tickets. From that side, I get one more result, no tickets are available. Then what it means that somebody within that time, they already booked the ticket. Is it no? It means that whatever transaction occurred, immediately that has to be updated. That is nothing but a real-time operating system. The primary objective of real-time operating system is to provide quick event response time and thus meeting the scheduling deadlines. Immediately, whatever transaction occurred, immediately it has to be updated. The main application where real-time systems are used including medical, imaging system, industrial control system, flight control as well as military application. There we are using real-time operating system because whatever transaction occurred, immediately the transaction has to be updated. Within a few seconds, the transaction has to be updated. Windows CE are the example for real-time operating system. Whereas if you come on time-sharing operating system, whatever time they have, within that time only, they will make a slot of that time and each one will use that. Whereas real-time operating system is all the transactions are updated immediately. Next, we will come on distributed operating system. Distributed operating system. Whereas in centralized operating system, all the transaction will take place with the help of center system only. Whereas in distributed operating system, consider we have 5 systems. System 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. System 1, System 2, System 3, System 4 and System 5. There is a direct connection between each other. Whereas here, if System 1 wants some data which is present in System 3, then there is a direct connection. Directly they will take this data from S3 to S1. Whereas in centralized, we have a center system. All the subsystems are connected to that main server system only. If S1 wants some data which is present in S4, then what it has to do? It send the command to the main system. From the main system, they will send the command to S4. From there, it will transfer the data to the main system. From that main system, once again, it will come back to S1 system. It means that in centralized system, all the transaction will take place with the help of center system. Whereas in distributed system, each system having equal capability. Whereas in centralized, the center system having higher capability. Whereas here, each system having equal capability, the direct transaction will take place here. A distributed operating system is a collection of autonomous computer system capable of communication and cooperation via the software and hardware interconnections. Whatever transaction they want, they can able to perform directly. They have equal capability. For example, if you have n systems in a distributed environment, then the distributed operating system helps us in balancing the load by sharing resources or processor, input-output devices and memory, etc. Whatever thing in this resources we have, where it may be time or memory, whatever thing we have, they have equal capability to share that. ATM centers of a bank are example for distributed operating system. Whereas when they come on centralized, all the transaction will take place with the help of center system only. Whereas decentralized or distributed means each system having equal capability, Directly they can able to share the resources here. When they come on the next one, network operating system. Whereas in network operating system is a collection of software. It's a collection of programs and associated protocols that allow a set of autonomous computers which are interconnected by a computer network here. Then here it can be used in a convenient and cost-effective manner also. It is very easy and it is cost-convenient also. Then in a network operating system, the user are aware of the existence of a multiple computers and can log on to remote machines and copy file from one machine to another machine. From one place to another place, I can log on. And whatever data in another system, that easily I can able to access. Consider here we have one system and here also we have one system. The user, those who wants to sit on the system 1, they can directly access the data which is present in another system. Remote login is possible here. And whatever data in S2, they can able to access in S1 system. Then Windows NT, Windows Server, Linux are the example for this network operating system. Next, when they come on multi-threaded operating system, a thread is a sequence of instructions within a program. It is a set of programs, sequence of programs, statements it contains. A program or a processor may have multiple threads which share the same code section and data section and other operating system resources. They can able to share the same code, sections, data, everything they can able to share here. It provides many logical paths through the program to be executed simultaneously. For example, if I want to reach from source to destination, I'm going to get separate different path. From here to here I can able to pass, or I can pass from another place to the whichever destination we want. That means here different path is possible. Sun Solaris, Windows 2000, multi-threaded Unix, Linux are the example for multi-threaded operating system here. Next, when they come on functional features of operating system. When they come on functional features, there we have two types. One is command line user interface or command user interface. And the second one is graphical user interface. In command user interface, what happens? Consider this is your screen and there's also one more screen. In command user interface, there is a command prompt. On that command prompt, you have to type the code. Whichever code you want, you have to type. And you will get the result on this command prompt only. Whereas in graphical user interface, there is a format of pictorial graphical representation. For example, here, if I want to copy some file, then I have to use copy from which place to which place I have to write the command. Whereas here, I can select the data and I can press the copy command there. It means that here, I'm having some graphic symbols. If I'm going to click on that, I can able to copy the data. Whereas here, I don't have any support like that. I have to remember the code here. For copy from which is a file to which file you want to copy. Or if you want to perform some other operation, if you want to display the data or directories, then in the command prompt you have to display that dir. Then it will display the directories. Whereas here, by using list command, I can able to display all the directories. It means that the transaction can be performed in two methods, one using graphical and one more using command user interface. Whereas in command user interface, we have to remember the code, we have to type the code. Whereas here, in graphic user interface, no need to remember the code. Directly we can click on that graphics signals. There I can able to perform my operations. When they come on command user interface allows the user to interact with the computer through the text terminals. Already I told you in the text terminals I can able to interact here. It is a non-graphical and text-based user interface. Here we are not going to get any pictures and all. Only with the help of commands, with the help of text only, I can able to process the transaction. MS-DOS is an operating system which provides a command user interface. Whereas in command user interface, you have to remember the code. You have to type the code, and on that code, on that particular command user interface only, you will get the result. Whereas in graphical user interface, there will be some graphics, some symbols are there. If you click on that by using mouse operation, we can able to perform our transaction. And there in graphical user interface, no need to remember the code here. Whereas in command user interface, we have to remember the code. In command user interface, the command must be given at the command prompt only, that is on C prompt or D drive, whichever drive. On that prompt only, we have to type the code. Both input and output are character based. The interface is also known as character user interface here. Next, when we come on graphical user interface, already I told you in graphical user interface, there will be some graphics, some pictures. If you click on that, particular actions will be performed. Whereas in graphical user interface was first introduced in 1984 by Apple with the Macintosh. And here graphical user interface is an interface where the commands are selected. We have some symbols, graphics. There we can able to select the operation. Selected from the menus and icons rather than the typing them with the help of keyboard. Whereas in command user interface, with the help of keyboard, we have to type the command. Whereas in graphical interface, we have the graphic symbols, you have to click on that. That's why graphical user interface, where the commands are selected, whichever command you want in the symbol format, in the graphic format, we can able to select that from the menus and icons rather than typing them by using the keyboard. It allows user to click on the required icons with the help of mouse. Whereas in command user interface, we are not using mouse. Whereas in graphical user interface, we are using mouse. And whichever data we want or whichever operation we want, by using the graphics only, we can able to select that operation. Here we have to remember the code. Here, no need to remember the code here. Then Windows operating system is the most popular operating system based on graphical user interface. Next, when we come on the difference between command user interface as well as graphical user interface, it's very important question. You will get this question for 3 marks as well as for 5 marks also. You may get to get the questions. Whereas here, command user GCUI means command line user interface or command user interface. Whereas GUI, graphical user interface. The user must type the command here. In the command prompt, the user has to type with the help of keyboard at command prompt to interact with the computer. Already I told you, in the command prompt, with the help of keyboard, they have to type the command. Whereas in graphical user interface, the user must click on icons. There will be some icons and menus, dialog box, etc. to interact with the computer. There will get some symbols, icons, menus, dialog box, everything will get here. In graphical user interface, with the help of that symbols, icons, we can able to interact with the computer. Command user interface, the user must remember the command and their parameters. They have to learn the command. They have some parameters. By that only they can able to process here. But when they come on graphical user interface, the user need not to remember any commands. No need to remember the commands. We have icons, symbols, dialog box. If you click on that, particular operations will be performed here, as it is available in the form of menus. We will get in the form of menus, icons on the monitors. In the monitor screen only we will get icon format, dialog box format. That's why it is easy to process. When you come on here in command user interface, mouse operation is not available for DOS. No need of using mouse. It will not support at all. Whereas here in graphical user interface, the mouse operation is required to select the commands here. Whichever operation we want to perform, for that we need mouse. Whereas here, mouse operation is not supported. And with that here, compulsory I have to use the keyboard. Whereas here, if I want, I can use keyboard as well as mouse I can use. And whichever operations I want, that operations directly I can able to select here. Then on this chapter, you come to know regarding what do you mean by software, different types of software, system software, application software, then language translator, then what do you mean by linker, loader, what is the use of that, which are the different types of operating system, then the functionalities of operating system, and the difference between command user interface as well as graphical user interface. Then in the next class, we will meet you with once again with a new chapter. Thank you for all of you.